Hello, this is a video log for technology enhanced instruction, and I am giving feedback on the kind of things that I found after reading the International Society of Technology and Education standards for use of digital for students and teachers. I designed a questionnaire, interviewed 3 teachers, got some feedback from them, which I'm about to give back, and then got hold of a lesson plan that used technology, which I thought was pretty good, but there were some improvements, I thought, some changes that I would make. And I also have 5 questions that I would think about before integrating technology into my lessons. So the first one really is, from speaking, there was a bunch of feedback from the teachers. But it all seemed for me to fall into 3 main areas. Firstly, visual. They liked using, they found that students responded very well to visual cues and visual learning. So as well as teaching with a teacher at the front of the classroom, by teaching the concept and then following it up on some kind of video, either a straightforward film type video, a cartoon, or a learning video, it kind of distracted the student from being a student and into more of an entertainment frame of mind, a bit more relaxed, a bit more open. And the information that they'd just been taught was kind of reiterated again. So they all felt that that really worked pretty well, and they all used it in some way or other. A second part of visual is that some of the teachers know that some of the kids respond really well by hearing, by writing. Some of them like to watch and really get information from a visual perspective. So they use it for that. A second category was interaction. Sometimes teaching at the front of a classroom can be quite one way. And then they break into small groups and get into iPads or interactive apps, and the learning opens up there as well and becomes deeper. And the third area was exploration. They would let the kids go to the technology and explore for themselves the topic that was being learned, and go and see what direction their exploration takes them in through the internet, so that they could deepen their own learning but also personalize it. Okay, so the lesson plan that I really focused on was one of the chess teachers who taught a concept at the beginning of the classroom for 15 minutes and then let the kids go and try it out on their own in small groups. Then he called them over to the projector, where he then showed a video that showed the concepts again in a kind of cartoon chess app. So taught a certain concept, let them go away and play on it, probably not get it correct at that time, then come back to the projector, show it on the screen in an interactive fun way. There was a lot of sound, there's a lot of whiz bang, there was a lot of interaction for the kids. Then they went back and tried it again, and this time they were better at it. So what he liked and what I liked about that was it showed progression. It was something the kids didn't know anything about. Then they knew a bit about it, but didn't quite have it. Then they had it taught to them again, but in a different way via a projector, so it sunk in a bit more. Then they went and tried it again and got it better. So it showed progression, and I think that was something that was a great idea. Show the kids that what they're doing is teaching them things, they are improving. I also noticed that the kids were never doing anything for too long. By using technology in this way, in this lesson plan, breaking up the flow of the lesson, switching from one area to another of the room, to this projector screen, to these iPads, back to these desks, was pretty good for making sure that there was no long period of time where the kids were doing the same thing. So I really enjoyed that lesson plan. If I were teaching that lesson, I liked it. I would, though, instead of teaching the whole group at once, I'd have all 3 groups going concurrently. A small group over with me and I'm teaching the concept. One group over at the projector who's watching the concept, and another group on iPads playing. And then every 15 minutes they switch. So we have that same movement. But then when I have the group that I'm teaching, it's a much smaller group. So I can see who's got it, who hasn't, do some formative check-ins with them, And basically I teach a small mini lesson 3 times. And I think that would be better because I have more contact with the students. When I'm thinking of technology, there's a checklist. I would make sure it was age appropriate. Some technology is too childish. They don't like the cartoony nature of it, puts them off. Some's too advanced. So it has to be the right kind of age for the age group and not too complicated to use. Secondly, some of these online apps can be a little too excitable. Will they get overstimulated? Will it distract them from their learning goals? Is it too much fun? Next, does the technology cost too much? Some of these things are great, but not practical. I can plan up a lesson and go and try and get budget to get the technology I need and not be able to afford it. Fourth, is it robust enough? Am I going to give it to the kids and the technology is very fragile, it breaks easily in their hands? Or is the app smooth or the internet connection good? Will it just freeze and disrupt the lesson? And finally, does technology have the ability to give clear feedback? So when the kids are playing or using the technology, do I get to get some feedback from them on what they're learning and how well they're learning? Okay, so those are the points. Thank you.